Episode of the FPL Affairs podcast, the podcast that strips back to lay bare our season-long love affair with FPL. In our latest Talking Points video, we focus on a Wildcard 6 special, using the lessons we've learned to consider different squads to help us improve our ranks. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for all of our content, and if you click that bell for the notifications, you should hear each time we release something new. Anyway, enough of my small talk. Let's get cracking.
And there's Mo Salah. There goes Haaland. He's on his way again. He's hungry. He's scored. Ice cold precision from Palmer. Oh, Saka! That is a diamond of a goal.
Greetings everybody and welcome to the Game Week 5 into Game Week 6 Talking Points, which is a little bit different to normal. But first of all, hi, I'm Matt, aka the FPL Affairs Magpie, and this week I am joined by FPL Affairs Peacock and Drew, who joined us last week, and long time no see, the crystal ball himself, the FPL Affairs Hippo, Kieran. How are you? Welcome back.
Yeah, all good, all good. It's been a long time, I think it's like game week 34 last season, and the last time.
Something like that. And
Yeah,
brief, tiny spoiler alert, viewers, is as this is episode 99 that we've done episode 100, we did have a special planned, but it's all about some sort of obsession that Kieran has and blame he seems to believe. But unfortunately, the additional adults have called in sick, so we're going to delay the recording of that, I'm afraid.
Calling them adults. Wow.
adults.
What should we call them? Children or what?
Adolescents.
Adolescents. Well, would you call us adolescents or not? Or what?
No, you're sensible adults.
The sensible ones. Anyway, right, I suppose we best get started on the talking points, which is going to be all about wild carding, because you'll find out in a moment. Right, okay then. So our talking points, wildcard into Game Week 6, which is still kind of, because it's covering stuff we found in Game Week 5, it's got Game Week 5 on the back, but the main ones really are going to be Salah and Haaland. So the main things we'll cover is wildcarding this week, sort of why, because two of us are, one of us did last week. Then we'll go through some drafts and discuss goalkeeper options, defensive options, midfield, and any alternatives to Salah, as well as the forwards. So, Kieran, why did you hit your wild card this week?
Mainly needed to probably get Haaland in, really. That's what was the main plan to get him in. I know earlier today I've seen that he could possibly be injured though, which isn't a good start if he is. But hopefully he's not. But yeah, mainly to get him in and get a few of the deadwoods out, like Watkins and actually I got rid of Marlon the other week. But yeah, get rid of the ones that aren't performing really as well.
How many transfers did you have?
I think at the moment I've done about 7 now.
Yeah, so like 7 changes to the wild card.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't have activated it, how many free transfers did you have? Did you just have the one?
Just the one, yeah. I've been a bit trigger happy. Not as
So
trigger
to
happy as Dave, but
True. So would you therefore have had to have taken a hit to get Haaland in, right?
yeah, would have done, yeah. -4 probably.
So, and you're up to 7 changes at the moment.
Yeah.
Andrew, how many changes did you make from your old team into your
God, I think it was the full starting 11. No, to be fair, I think it was about 8. I'm pretty sure it was about 8 or 9. Without looking. I can't look at the minute. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was about 8 or 9.
Right. Do either of you have in determining whether to wildcard or not, as to if there's a figure of like a minimum number of changes you'd be wanting to make to hit the wildcard?
I think earlier in the week, didn't you say, Kieran, you
Yeah, see, I was
wanted
trying
to
to
do
see.
4? And
Yeah,
then you
totally.
said, is it worth doing 4? And I said anything above, I would say 4 or 5. do a wild card.
Yeah, because originally
Anything
around about
that's
5 or 6, I think it was. Yeah, and that's what I
yeah,
was a
that
bit
was it.
questioning
Yeah,
if that's enough or not.
yeah. I
I
would say
think
anything above 4 or 5, that's a
when
wild card.
in previous seasons when there's been like conversations about, oh, how many points hit should you take? Should you go -8? Should you go -12 or whatever? And a lot of that is mentioned when it's down to double game weeks and blank game weeks. And I think generally a sort of mini rule of thumb of if you feel you need to go to -12 or even more, then you're entering free hit wildcard territory.
Yeah,
So that's kind of if you had one free transfer and 3 hits, that's sort of in a way a minimum of four changes. But I think even 5, I'd say, is risque. But okay, I've got 3 drafts. The first is Haaland only. Second is Haaland and Salah, so it's got both of them in. And the third one, I've put third because I generally, when looking at which players were being brought in on Sunday evening, the most popular ones and looking likely to rise in price on Sunday night or Monday night, or at the latest tonight, I put those ones in that were rising. So the ones that were being quite popular are being brought in. None of them are mine. None of them are Kieran's. They might be close to Kieran's. I haven't seen yours. They might be close to mine. But mine you'll see later in the week when Weasel and I do team selection video. Anyway, I'm waffling. So wildcard chip, you get 2 in the season. The first is available game weeks 1 to 19, and the second one becomes available in game week 20, between 20 and 38, which if you don't use your first one, tough luck, really. Although if anyone can actually get as far as game week 20 without using a wild card, then they actually deserve to carry it into the second half of the season, to be honest. But anyway, each can only be used once, and once activated, the wild card chip cannot be undone, but it's unlimited transfers for that game week only. So inspect, first one is the Haaland only draft, the main initial one. First impressions, guys, 0.4 in the million in the bank, and this is 8 changes from my current one, but I largely went with popular. Who would like to start the ball rolling? First impressions.
You've gone for a proper DEFCON back
yeah,
line, haven't you? And yeah, so
While they're looking at it, it's got Donnarumma in goal, Dubravka on the bench, Tarkowski, Anderson, Senesi, Richards, and Rodon from Leeds as the back 5. As the 5 defenders, 5 midfielders, Reinders, Palmer, Elliot Anderson of Forest, Semenyo and Kudus, and the front line of Haaland, João Pedro, and Gyökeres.
is Palmer not injured now?
Well,
yeah, he is, isn't
this
he?
this was this was done before well,
Yeah.
when I first started thinking about game week 6 wildcard as a possibility. And that was before the Manchester United Chelsea game.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
Yeah.
and it's interesting. I'm glad you mentioned Palmer because he was sort of going to be, before we decided to special this talking points, he was first on my list as to
Was it?
like, on wildcards, he was going to be big popular for Salah replacement.
Hmm.
But then he gets brought off 21 minutes, and it's revealed he's got a long-standing groin problem.
Would you now swap Palmer now for possibly Saka?
That's the thing, which
3.8% owned.
and we'll stick with the Palmer and
Yeah,
we'll
okay.
come back to the defenders and goalkeepers in a moment. We'll start with the midfield, but Palmer obviously initially in as a Salah replacement to afford the funds to Haaland, but then he's injured, which means the next bracket you're kind of looking at Saka, then Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, I was going to say Fernandes. I think Fernandes might be a good bet first, and then you can move him on to Saka when the fixtures get better and you make sure Saka's not as risky.
Yeah.
Hmm. What any others above that? Because the next bracket, are there any 8.5s, or is it straight down to 8?
Yeah, you got Foden at 8.
And then you've got Mbomo and
Obviously, you
Cunha
already got
at
three
7.
Man City there, so you couldn't do that anyway.
Yeah, I was just about to say you wouldn't want to put Foden, Renders, and Haaland in the same team, would you?
Yeah.
That's a
So
bit too risky.
so where you're thinking about in relation to Foden's a possibility to bring in as an alternative, but then it would be sacrificing one of the 3 City players.
You're not going to
Well,
sacrifice
well,
Haaland.
actually, you'd probably get rid of Donna, I'd say, and put in Raya instead because you've got no Arsenal in there.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just Gyökeres on the bench at the moment. So yeah, that would be the most common if you wanted to go for a three-pronged City attack and put
Like
in
mine currently.
um you'd put you'd put Foden into where Palmer is most probably and Raya in goal.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the midfield in general? And then we'll briefly mention the defence.
Menu's obviously one that you've got to have into at the moment.
Mm,
So
Semenyo, yeah,
the form he's in, you've got to have him in your team.
but he has got Leeds next. That's a blank in the making, isn't it?
solid defence, solid defence. And then Semenyo will get 2 blanks and everyone will be like, oh no, what a mistake it was for getting him in a wild card.
Yeah,
Blanks.
I'm just not 100% sold on after last week having that triple Spurs. I don't know, I've just got that what's the word? That sort of pessimistic view of Spurs assets now.
Mm.
I don't know. And Kudus, yeah,
It's
I'm not sure.
against Wolves.
Easy pickings, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they're ever going to do something, it's going to be against Wolves.
Aren't they like the most goals in so far?
Yeah. So, but it's Spurs.
Yeah. Still trying to veer off I think once everyone gets used to Ange being the Forest manager,
Mm.
but it's Spurs aspect of the Postecoglou defence will become it's Forest. Oh, we're Forest under Forest. Will it flip to that just because of the change of manager? Hopefully not, but people are because of his systems, obviously,
I hope not for Forest's sake.
understandably,
I like Forest.
understandably getting rid of Forest assets or defences. Um, I'm I'm getting rid of one of my wildcard reasoning decisions is because I just wanted rid of Murillo. I'm glad in a way I had him as opposed to Williams because Williams I'll be like, but you just got to you'd then be second guessing. Kieran, did
Yeah, I
you
went and used my free transfer this
So
week on getting
you're
Williams
about to
in.
say Andrews has bought him in, haven't you?
Yeah. And it was proper knee jerk on a Sunday.
Mm.
And I don't know
Right.
why I did it now.
The defense, your first comment, I think, looking at this, Andrew, was you were DEFCON defense, weren't you?
FCon all over that is.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, well, I don't know. Clean sheets are quite easy there as well. I mean, you got West Ham not scoring really. Villa definitely not scoring. And then Leeds, they've only scored 4 goals this season and 3 of them were in the last game against Wolves. So it's not it's not unheard of that might be clean sheet and DEFCON points there.
Mm. Keeper as well with Donnarumma.
Oh yeah, definitely. 100% there.
Could potentially back three and goalkeeper all clean sheets. Potentially.
Potentially 25 to 30 points just on your back.
Mm.
And then you've got Richards, who's been DEFCON for Palace. He's on the bench for this one.
Mm.
As well as what's Rodon's sort of DEFCON thing? Is he
Yeah,
get
I don't think he's hit DEFCON yet. I want to say Goodmanson may have done.
I think he has, yeah.
so then
Um,
that could potentially be a Goodmanson as opposed to Rodon in
because
that.
Goodmanson plays as like the wing back sort of thing, the fullback, so
Mm.
he's up and down all the time. So, but whereas Rodon is mainly usually the last man back, so he doesn't really have that much to do, hopefully.
Mm. Goalkeepers on a wild card. What would be your short list of goalkeepers. Well, Kieran, who have you considered so
Well,
far?
say I've been flitting between a few. Say obviously it would have been Donnarumma on there, but then I already had 3 City in mind, so I had to I went to Vicario at first because I thought obviously you got Wolves and Leeds. So he was up there along with but then I had Van de Ven already, so I've kind of switched now to Raya. So I've had a few in my mind really, but yeah, I'm stuck on Raya at the moment.
I think I'm glad you mentioned the Vicario because I'm not sure whether it was you or Weasel that put out about the idea of going with the Spurs goalkeepers. So
Yeah, yeah,
Mario and is it Kinski?
Hmm.
That's first choice back up to
Yeah.
because so going for a goalkeeper pairing of them potentially that as opposed to Tottenham defence. Um, what are both of your opinions on that? Spurs combo defence rather than a premium and Dubravka.
Yeah. Well, I got rid of one of my Spurs defense because I didn't like the double. I was proper like done over last week, and I just had a feeling. I don't even know why I did it because they had Wolves next, but I had Ramiro and Van der Ven, and yeah, did Ramiro out for Nico Williams for some reason. I still don't know why. It's really confused me.
Is it home to Sunderland?
Yeah, it probably was to do with that, and it was probably to do with the rotation from the bench. But I can't even, you know what? I can't even think of who I've got there now.
Mm. So
But yeah, not a fan
up,
any
of the
up,
double defense.
up until the Brighton game, Spurs weren't doing too bad defensively.
No, it's just the last couple of games. No, they've just looked a bit dodgy at the back. They haven't
Hmm.
looked as comfortable as the first three, and I'm not sure if that's a blip or
Yeah, not sure what's going on
mm,
with
if that's the Spurs thing coming back into play.
it.
right, just sorry to interrupt there while we potentially hopefully don't go off tangent. Um, should we do ratings out of 10 for this wildcard team, this
Go on then.
Haaland draft?
I'd probably say an 8. I would.
Yeah, I would say an 8 if you obviously get rid of your Palmer.
Mm. So that basically being from it's why I really included this one just to add more variety between the drafts because some people may still want to go Palmer or it's also that's the budget spot, not but the his price point is
Yeah,
what I meant, which could be switched to, as we said before, to Saka or Fernandez, and then the money from that kept in the bank or utilised it elsewhere. But anyway, the next draft is a Salah and Haaland draft. So I'll read that out while you boys scan it. This one's got Raya in goal, Dubravka on the bench, back three, same as the last one, Tarkovsky, Anderson of Fulham, and Senesi. Defenders on the bench, Richards and Rodon. So it's the same back five. The midfield has gone with Salah, Caicedo as the Chelsea representative, Reinders and Semenyo. And finally, up front is Gyökeres has been dropped down to Richarlison. So, the fifth midfielder on the bench is stuck from Leeds. Front three, Haaland, Richarlison, Jed Pedro. I apologise in advance if you hear the dog barking.
I'm surprised you can't hear my dog snoring. I've tried throwing little things at her just to stop her. I love that draft, and to be fair, it's pretty much similar to what my team is now.
Yeah, that's a good draft actually. Yeah, it's probably the best Hall and Salah one I've seen, to be honest.
Yeah,
I've seen obviously when you've got Hall and Salah, I was struggling to get an all-round good team still.
Mm. Yeah,
I like your bench of Statch as well.
I think the main thing this, which the previous draft we looked at and this one, was really getting to Salah was obviously dropping Palmer right down to Caicedo.
Hmm.
So that sort of 5 million.
Yeah.
Well, actually, check. Well, the differences in midfielders are where it was Palmer, Anderson, and my mind's gone blank now. Kudus. Um, so you had a 5.5, a 6.5, and a 10.5, roughly. Well, 10.4 probably. You've got those price points, and it was just putting Caicedo in to cover Chelsea in place of Anderson, dropping dropping Kudus down to Stack and Palmer down to Salah, and then the need to drop Gyökeres to Richarlison too.
I just think that Caicedo is such an underrated player in FPL this season with Defcon.
Mm. And he's got two.
Hence the reason why I got him. I know he
And
only got 4 points from me, but
he's got two. It just basically sets up. And if it's, with Chelsea having a half decent defence, it's pretty much his weekly starting point, because he's arguably the most nailed in the team.
100%, yeah.
He's as good a starting point is 4 points for the game.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Two
Yeah,
deaths and two appearances for making 60 plus minutes.
Yeah.
he's definitely my plans for the next couple of weeks.
Go away, Kieran.
Yeah.
No, to be fair, I think he's quite highly drafted in this week anyway. And I don't blame people for getting him in because I think he's one of the most nailed on midfielders that you can probably get in FPL at the minute. Like I said, to secure you about 4 points minimum.
What I did wanted to ask with making the wildcards and also thinking about it in general is how much do you take into account the clubs that have got European fixtures and therefore squad rotation?
To be honest, I haven't really thought too much about it like that because
Yeah,
it's so early on.
There's a risk to it, isn't there?
I think
Obviously, if they play midweek, they might get less minutes at the weekend.
Yeah.
But you also look at the fact of the personnel. João Pedro for Chelsea hasn't got much competition. Caicedo, we've just said, is nailed. He's just a fitness monster beast, DEFCON monster beast. And again, Salah's, and as I think I mentioned with Lewis yesterday, that Liverpool attack is getting more towards the stereotypical Pep roulette of the last few years. That Liverpool's attack is going to be the same, whereas it's basically Salah's the only one that's getting you 90 minutes. Everyone else is just going to be rotated or early subs.
Can you see Salah being rotated, not so much starting games, but in game, that he's going to only probably see like 60 minutes once he sacks full fitness?
I still think he'll be 80 plus minutes.
Yeah.
To be honest.
It might be if they're winning by a margin that you might be taking off, sort of thing.
What's he taking off for the weekend?
No.
I don't think so. No.
Was he not? I might get mixed up. I thought he was.
Don't think so. It could well be, but yeah.
Oh no, I'm getting mixed up with Haaland. I think it was Haaland, wasn't
it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I think it was like 67 minutes or something he got taken off. I was so gutted after I captained him.
That we will.
Apparently he was blowing. Apparently he was really tired. Apparently he asked for it, according to Pep.
Now he's obviously got this little injury.
Yeah. So thoughts on this draft, because I think there's more talking points in the next one. I think
I'm going for a 9 on that one.
Kieran?
Yeah, I'll probably say around about. I'm going to go 8 again. I am.
I just really like that draft.
Just because it's a good haul and Salah draft, but it does make your midfield a little bit weaker, doesn't it?
That's it.
Because I mean,
that is my. I'm only saying that because that's my midfield.
Oh, is it?
Pretty much, yeah. I've got all 4 of them in my starting 5 in midfield.
Interesting. Interesting. Who's the fifth one then?
Why ask me? It's late. I don't know.
You can't
Um,
remember.
no, who have I
All right.
got?
So this team on FPL team, its expected points is 57.1 for these. Right. The more interesting one. This one, I've called it the popular one because, as I said, when I looked on live FPL and price changes, these were the players that were being their rate of percentage owned was rapidly going up. So,
Oh, look at that bench.
mm,
Yeah.
well,
Jeez.
I'll read it. I'll read it out. Donnarumma in goal, Raya on the bench. This is where obviously this was where both of them were predicted to rise in price on Sunday. So it's 12 players different to my existing team. So I thought, right, we'll put them in. We'll come with how changes can be done later. So it's got Donnarumma and Raya in goal. Obviously, one of them will be exchanged for someone cheaper. Back five, the ones most popular drafted in at the time were Van der Ven, Senesi, Chalobah, Mark Gahey, and Gabriel. So it's therefore Arsenal double up in defence. And yeah, Chalobah, Senesi, Van der Ven, and Gay. Midfield is Semenyo, unsurprisingly. Reinders, unsurprisingly. Kudus, and the other two, Zubimendi of Arsenal and Gravenberch of Liverpool, with the front three being Haaland, Richarlison, and João Pedro. So those were the ones drafted in. Expected points 56.7, but you may or may not have noticed it has 4.0 million in the bank.
That's crazy.
Because the Gravenberch and Zubimendi picks as.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got, if you look at the midfield, Semenyo's what, 7.6 now out of the others. Reinders 5.5, 5.6, Gravenberch 5.6, Zubimendi 5.5, and Kudus 6.5, 6.6 around that mark. So yeah, out of
Very
the
cheap
midfield,
midfield.
at your midfield, the most expensive is Semenyo on 7.6.
Yeah. Is he 7.6 or 7.7?
He
I think we're at
might have
7.7
gone up.
now.
Yeah, because he
That was
started at
last
7 at
night.
the start of the season, didn't he? And then I'm sure he's had like a price rise up to 7.7
Yeah,
Yeah,
until
yes, I
now.
think I
that was
saw that this
last.
morning, yeah.
Yeah, went up last night, or
Crazy.
maybe even Sunday night.
It's gonna be
So
a 9 by the end of the season.
he'll do. He'll if he continues, he'll replicate the Umbermo rise that Umbermo had last season. Where
Yes,
it
yeah.
it seemed just like every week he was going up
Constantly.
0.1.
I do like that
That
Gravenberch pick though. He seems like he's finding his form at the minute.
Is
and one of the
that a
reasons,
knee-jerk pick, though? Just because
pardon?
is it a knee-jerk pick like the Zubimendi one because he had one good game week where he got a load of points and people are knee-jerking it?
Well, that's another reason why I put the popular one is how many of that, which of those players looking at it do you think are knee-jerk ones, and which ones?
Chalobah
Zubimendi and
definitely.
Gravenberch, definitely.
Kieran,
Got Chalobah as well.
who are the knee-jerk ones in for you?
Yeah, Gravenberch and Zubimendi, definitely. The knee-jerk ones.
Any
And
more?
Chalobah as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Those three, you'd say a knee-jerk. Are you in agreement with that?
Yeah.
The thing is, Gravenbert's been quite good DEFCON wise, and I think it's the second time he's got a goal and an assist in the same game.
Is it? Is he?
Second time
What he
this season.
scored?
He scored against Newcastle, although it was
Oh
probably
yeah.
0.00001 XG. It was ridiculous, and it was where Gakpo got one of those silly assists where you do a 2 yard sideways pass,
Oh yeah.
and Gravenberch rifles it in from like 25, 30 yards.
Yeah. I remember that now.
So yeah, my kind of thoughts are Zubimendi definitely a knee jerk that probably rapidly decreased, especially when people take more note that he's got Newcastle away next. But Gravenberch's still a possibility with DEFCON, I would think.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's one of these another one of these underrated FPL players, isn't it? That he just goes under the radar, but gradually picks these points up like 5 points, 6 points here, there, and everywhere. it might not be double digits, but they're valuable points.
Which again is a bit like Saka is, where Saka will get consistent sort of 8 points, 7 points, 9, 10, getting that virtually every game. And you'd get some other players that will get 2, 2. Well, Bruno this season, 2, 2, 2, 10, 2, 10. But then he's got the he's got the avenues and routes to points. Defcon, he's got points this season for penalties. He's got this season for goals from open play. He's got, so where would you spend that money, Kieran? Where would you spend it? That 4 million. Looking at that team squad,
definitely midfield.
Which would you take out?
How much is Gravenberch again?
Gravenberch's about 5.5.
5. Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, definitely upgrade. And what's Zubimendi? Was he the same?
Yes, he
I'd probably do
dropped.
Zubimendi up to like a Fernandez or something. Like them.
So do that. Just put that full 4 million, or pretty much.
Yeah, because I quite like the defense and I quite like the up front as well. And obviously you'll get some money from getting rid of one of Donu or Raya as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because you think if you drop one of them down to Dubravka, say at 4 million, that's an extra 1.5. So you've got 5.5. Just that one change in itself, you've got 5.5 million to upgrade the squad.
Yeah, you could also probably change Chalobah as well to another defender instead. I'm not too sure how much he is, to be honest.
I think he's like 4.5, isn't he, or something like that.
Chalobah's 5.1.
Is he?
That's what I mean. So you could up him to a Gabriel or something.
You got Gabriel on the bench.
Oh, so I didn't see him now. Okay, not Gabriel.
Sneaking in the corner.
Yeah, I didn't notice him now.
Triple Arsenal on the bench. No,
whack him up to a Cucurella.
What, Chalobah to a Cucurella?
Yeah.
But then isn't Chalobah more nailed for minutes after Cucurella was benched once or twice recently?
He's only been benched once, anti-Cuca.
Yeah.
Right. Final thoughts rating of this team.
I'd say 7.
Yeah, I was about to say 7 on that one.
Yeah, but it's obviously got the cash for potential. Right. So how can you get in touch? Where can you find us? Our email address is lowercase fplaffairs@gmail.com. On X, our user handle is @FPL Facebook, the group link is in our description on the YouTube video channel. And alternatively, you could search the Facebook group for FPL Affairs. We should pop straight up. Our YouTube channel is /@FPL Affairs, and the Spotify links are generally found at the bottom of the video. Or on Spotify, you could search up FPL Affairs. There may still be time to join our leagues if you haven't already. The Classic League code is 12RRCG, or the Classic code is lowercase I6NQNB. Unfortunately, the head-to-head league is now closed as the season has started. Alrighty, so that's our wild card wrapped up. Final thoughts. Thank you, gentlemen, and just in case it gets cut in the next 30 seconds, thank you very much for joining me. Hope you can each come on again soon, especially with that special. Episode 100 we've got planned. Final thoughts, gents? Kieran?
All I'll say is good luck to you both for your wild cards on Game Week 6.
Yeah, you need it, I think, especially with this curse from Matt.
My heart is bleeding. Ooh, fighting talk from Hippo there. Why don't you bring it on to the FPL courtroom and take me on to see whether the viewers, the jury, can see or determine whether I did issue a curse last season or not. That will be our episode 100 special. All that's left to say is keep your FPL affairs under wraps until the deadline. Bye-bye.